So something else that you want to be able to discern within your own self is the difference between reacting to something and then becoming dynamically interactive. There's interactive, then reactive. And he's going to come at me with whatever he wants. Yeah, it doesn't matter. So what I did is I stayed locked up in my pelvis, and my body said no. Right? Nothing effective happened to his structure. I may have saved myself from getting popped upside the head, but I reacted. Right? So that's what your body does. And if you're totally freaked out, at least you might not get hit. Whoa, you flinched, you reacted. So that's reaction. Now, interaction is something else. So interaction is, I check his weapon off of its trajectory, so it's not dangerous to me anymore. But then I want to basically touch his body. I want to feel. I'm not grabbing. I'm just feeling. Notice that his body's moving a bit. Noticing that if I use my momentum at all, from pivot down here, from these muscles, now I've interacted with his weight. So his central nervous system is going, oh, just about fell over. He had this stagger, just that little heartbeat, which would have given me all this time to do all these different things. Because for just that heartbeat, his body's going, what happened? So just whatever. Maybe we'll try that again and right at me, because that was over here. Right? So again, by being interactive instead of reactive, I saw it coming, and it was round enough for me to get inside of it and add some momentum, enough that I could grab his head. Right? So when we're thinking about what people call blocking, it's really important to shift that in your mind. I don't want to stop him from hitting me. What I want to do is find a way to have some sense of his weight. It's just a moment of, and then anything else can happen right from there. But as long as I don't think about, oh no, I think about, yummy, then I'm in an interactive relationship with what's happening. You see the difference? So that's a big thing emotionally that you have to get going. So another thing that happens, well, people usually don't just punch loads. They usually come at you when they're really, really mad and they're, right? So I don't want to, again, when I get into this thing of covering myself, I don't want to obsess over getting caught up in this thing. More than the 10th of a second I actually have before I have to deal with the other weapon, his knees, his overall structure, and his intensity, right? So this is where we come up with another one of our little sayings, which is weapon, weapon, spine, right? So no matter what he comes at me with, I don't want to mash your head into the mirror there, just in case you never know. What I want to do is have him feel that no matter what happens, I want to crash into his structure, close is taken care by him because he's coming at me. I want to crash into his structure, interact with his weight as much as I can, but as soon as I touch a weapon, feel what it's doing, I want to get to the next weapon. However I do, I can't tell, I don't know what he's going to do. And as soon as I feel where both of his weapons are, then I want to interact with his spine. Now ideally, that's something on his head. Think of the head as sort of like a joystick to a video game, because if you have it, you can pretty much control the rest of his body for a moment. Right? He's going to try to get it back. But I've just got a moment of doing what I want to do. So again, whatever he comes at me with, and it can be all kinds of stuff, what's important is that I interact weapon, weapon, spine, while always being aware that it might be another person, and he might keep going. All right, so again, covered both of those nice little Wing Chun punches, checked the periphery, kept a sense of where his weapons were, and now I'm in a situation where I could go to the low line, take his head, do whatever. Right? So typical kind of boxer stuff, straighten the things that are wide, again, same thing, weapon, get the other weapon, tilt his spine, and get ready to just basically pounce on him, screw him up. Right? So I'm not doing that to show off, I'm just saying it's a very, very simple thing. Now, what I want you guys to do is nothing like that. What I want you to do is come at each other with some kind of basic combination that you've seen on TV or whatever, at a speed where the other person can successfully interact with what you're doing, right? Weapon, weapon, and then spine, just so that, again, your central nervous system, your relationship with your body is always going to be the same. right? Weapon, weapon, spine. It may look like he's holding himself still on purpose. In fact, right now he's holding himself up, right? So his arm isn't frozen because I'm trying to make myself look good. His nervous system is busy. His body is, his arm's trapped there, and he's using it for what seems like leverage, right? So for just that moment, his body's frozen in his own structure, right? Anything can happen, but you just have to have that idea that as long as you keep going forward and you're intense, they're going to start to freeze up and try and say, oh no, with their body. And in fact, that's your job. Now there's another way you can do this, which I'll just play out. Right, which is as soon as he comes at me, as soon as that weapon is close to me, I hit him. I look for that other weapon and I hit him again. And if I can do that and they're ready to take his spine, and his arms are busy going, what the fuck? Well, I'm going, oh, well, I'll just, put that into the, post over here or something. So again, it's a simple algorithm, but it always goes post, pivot, press, weapon, weapon, spine, and start to deliver the violence.